My name is Dennis Black. I'm a senior producer for the athletics department at the University of Florida. So I grew up in St. Petersburg, and my dad worked for Group W Cable, and then Paragon Cable, and then that became Time Warner. So if I had days off from school, or if we were hanging out, my dad was off and he needed a pit stop at the office, he always kind of handed me off to the production guys because they would do their local TV show. So I befriended those guys and could sit in on studio shoots and stuff, so I thought that was really cool. I liked watching TV and sports, and then I played sports growing up. So I wanted to pick something that I can continue kind of working on that I enjoyed. So I played baseball too through college. So I ended up getting a scholarship to Marshall. And then really the opportunity to just get hands-on experience. I think that's the biggest thing that I learned, and that's what I kind of relay to students, is this job's all about hands-on experience. So at Marshall, it gave me the foundation to kind of build on my career. The biggest thing too is I worked a lot with the radio station. So we were able to be on the radio, calling football games, calling basketball games, baseball games, softball games. So we were calling the games. So we were able to learn how to get in and out of breaks, how to read liners, timing formats. So just like we were 10 feet away from the Thundering Herd network, so we were doing the exact same thing on a medium scale as they were doing on a larger scale, but it gave us a foundation to understand formats and how you work with a partner, and how the engineer is just as important as the on-site engineer and the play-by-play guy. So like if the team isn't working together, then no one succeeds. So that experience of the teamwork aspect of it really allowed me to grow once I received the internship at the NBC affiliate, and then it kind of took off. I was in my last year at Marshall, and I interned at an NBC affiliate in Huntington. And that internship turned into a part-time photog job. So I shot Friday Night Football, I edited the morning show, then I was a news photographer in the afternoon, and then kind of turned that into just networking opportunities and working for ESPN Regional. So it really depends. If it's football season, it's super busy. So every day has something involved with football, whether we're finishing up a project or looking ahead and starting another one. The best thing about my job is that no day is ever the same, and I think that's what I enjoy about it the most, is that one day I could be busy doing a ton of interviews for football, and the other day I could be working with lacrosse. So it really, each day varies, which is why I've done it for so long, because it's no day's ever the same. Challenging probably is time management, trying to figure out how you're going to cover all the events, how you're going to schedule shoots, because we work with a lot of different sports here on campus, so trying to manage those interviews or schedule those interviews. And then the most gratifying thing is just when you cover an athlete and then they go on to win a national championship, you kind of cover them throughout their career. They may win it when they're a senior and you've known them since a freshman, so that's pretty cool. The biggest thing is, and it's pretty obvious, is technology. When I first started in college, we had we recorded on beta tapes. So it was a beta 30-minute tape in the camera. So you had to bring multiple tapes with you if you were covering a football game. Now I have a card, could pretty much last me the whole football game, if not just 2 cards. And then the immediacy in which we're able to turn content around. I used to shoot the West Virginia football games on tape and then have to drive 2.5 hours back to the station to get that footage ready for the 6 o'clock. Now I could shoot it and then upload it on an FTP site and then stop for dinner on the way back. And they'd have the content basically back at the station. So the biggest thing is technology. talk to people, and then be proactive and follow up and write letters of thanks. I mean, it goes a long way. This profession, it's all about practical experience and networking. It's who you know that will get you in the door. The biggest thing is just getting that first job. The hardest job you'll ever get, your first one. And I always tell people, you have your dream job, but also have stepping stones to get to that dream job. Because a lot of students that don't succeed, they go for that huge job right out of school, and they get told no 25 times. And you'll get told no a lot in this profession until you kind of get more experience. But then they get discouraged. It's how you take a minimum job to get in the building. The biggest thing I tell students to is just get the keys to the building. Because once you have the keys to the building, go in on your day off and sit with a TD, or sit with the sports guy, or sit with the weather guy, because then you build up a relationship with them. And then they start talking shop with you, and then you're like, hey, you're awesome. My buddy in Minnesota has this job opening that you'd be perfect. So I just think, go get it. Like, be proactive and go get it. Don't be afraid, because if you're afraid, you won't succeed. And that's this profession's awesome, but you got to do everything you can to get in.